Hey, friend, have you ever been in a season that felt so uncertain, where fear was constantly whispering in your ear? Maybe you're there right now, holding on to a promise that feels so far away, wondering if God sees you, if He's going to go ahead and make a way where you can't see one. Today, I want to share with you a part of my journey, one that taught me God's faithfulness when I couldn't see it. And I hope that it encourages you today. The first scripture that I ever memorized was Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. This scripture, it became my lifeline during a really difficult season. So, part of the backstory was 6 months earlier to this time, I had experienced a miscarriage. Now, at this time, I had a great career, was working at a company that I loved. I had two adult children. And if I'm being honest with you, I had said many times before that I didn't want to have any more kids. And when I experienced this miscarriage, it was right around my birthday. And if I'm being honest, it broke me. I actually ended up having a miscarriage while I was at a work lunch celebration in the washroom of the restaurant. And when I went back to work, I knew it was happening and I went home. And this experience, it really broke me. And I realized that I kind of did want to have a baby. So, fast forward 6 months at 44 years old, I found myself pregnant again. But I was also really, really scared and really afraid of having hope, afraid of the possibility, um, just afraid of my previous outcome happening again. And so in the beginning, Jeremiah 29:11 was a verse on my phone. And from there, from my Bible app on my phone, I wrote it into a note. And I just began reciting it over and over and over again until I was able to recite this verse by heart. And the specific translation that uses the word declare is the translation that I chose to memorize. Because for me, there was something so beautiful about that translation, that God was declaring this goodness over my life. And it was something that I chose to cling to believe in. And friend, I don't know what you're walking through today, but I want to encourage you that this promise is there for you too today. God has plans for good for your life. No matter what has happened in your past, no matter what challenges you're currently experiencing, God has a plan for good for you too. So, my pregnancy was filled with a lot of challenges. Um, Being the age that I was labeled a geriatric pregnancy. Lovely, beautiful term. Geriatric pregnancy, which that in of itself, along with the complications, made it hard for me to find a practitioner. And 6 months into my pregnancy, I found myself in the ER bleeding and absolutely terrified. So scared of what could happen. But God's faithfulness carried me through. God's faithfulness led me to the right doctor who made such a difference. The way that she just, put me to ease, was there to answer any questions I have, and just made it an easier experience for myself, who I think was traumatized at this point. That God really led me to the right doctor, to the right hospital. And in God's faithfulness, in August of 2020, I, at 44, gave birth to my daughter. The blessing that she's been is something that I can't even put into words. That shows for me God's faithfulness, that He loves me so much, that He gave me what I needed. He didn't give me the things I prayed for. I prayed for a house, I prayed for money, I prayed for a job, I prayed for a business. He gave me the thing that I didn't even know that I needed, that would heal me. The type of love and bond that I have with this little girl. She is literally my mini me. So to be blessed at 44 to get to be her mom, these have been the most incredible 4 years. And when she came to us, we knew what a miracle and what a blessing she was. We knew that God sent her here. So her middle name is Heaven. And that verse, I walked around in my pregnancy just believing for God's goodness, declaring His goodness over my life, over my child, over my own health. And it carried me through. And even further to that is Jeremiah 29:12 verses 12 through 14 that remind me how faithful God is. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all of your heart. Friend, I don't know what you're walking through today, but I want to encourage you that God sees you. He has not forgotten you, and He has plans for good for your life too, just like He did for me. So here's something this week that I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to find a scripture that resonates with you the way Jeremiah 29:11 did for me. Even if it's not Jeremiah 29:11. And if it is, amazing. That's amazing too. But I want you to find a scripture that resonates with you and carry that with you. That every time moments of doubt or fear or worry or anxiety or panic or negative thoughts come into your mind, I want you to draw on this one scripture and see how it can help contribute to have subtle shifts of you focusing on the fears, worries, and doubts and taking your focus and shifting it back to God through a scripture. If this video encouraged you today, then I hope that you will subscribe to the channel, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Stay encouraged.